to the Indie Wrestling Guide with your hosts, the Hall of Fame referee, JHawk, the not-so-mysterious benefactor, JGold, and the legendary Charly Butters.
Well, Sammy's a little shithead.
Right?
Well, we're starting hot.
He brought out a steel chair with Jeff, and they fucking tried to Pillmanize. Well, they did Pillmanize Mikey. Luckily, he didn't break anything. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean,
He was big time shit talking on the X machine. Him and I even think some guy named John was jumping on his, was saying like, yeah, we don't get along, but now we do. Mutual hatred of the show or something.
Yeah. So
son of a bitch.
And I'm not thrilled that Sammy One getting rewarded with Mikey spot in the gauntlet, but it is what it is. You gotta do the guy you got. So
I mean, basically stole it at that point. I mean, that's what it is. But yeah, so that happened. That was a fun time. Luckily, like I said, Mikey's only bruised, so he'll be good to go. We have a big title match for him at Set the Standard next month, September 13th.
That's fun.
I'm excited for that. BK Westbrook. For those that listen, they'll hear that now. You'll see the announcement probably sometime this week, I'm sure, from NeoPro officially.
BK Westbrook, that's a big grab.
Yeah. I'm super excited for that. He's going to be in Philly the day before, so it worked out in our favor for him to come on over and add Ohio to his list of companies, places he's worked. So I'm super excited for that.
He plays a great asshole.
That's what we like to have to face Mikey. So he's a phenomenal talent. I saw him at ETU. We talk about ETU all the time. He's been there, wrestles there. Phenomenal talent. Wrestles at Deadlock Pro. I mean, that's huge. Did you go to Deadlock this weekend?
I did not. I was not able to go there. It was just not in the cards this week. I wish it was. Yeah.
Dom versus Madman Conley in a street fight. Oh boy.
That's what I heard.
I had to be sweet. Dom had a killer match on the show this week.
Oh God.
Against what was that gentleman's name?
Josh Crane. Oh my God. Yeah. They just beat the shit out of each other for like 12 minutes.
They did. It was as they called it, curtain sellout. Everybody backstage was watching it on the monitors. They were all hovering around the monitors and
I didn't realize that was this weekend. Like, I feel terrible that I didn't even. I just was so distracted. I just didn't realize it was this weekend. So
life gets in the way sometimes. But
yeah. But that's
I
cool.
I think it was like a last minute addition too that he was on that card because I think somebody else had to get pulled, and so Dom stepped up for it. So
that's very cool.
But yeah, I got to sit and talk with Dom for like 20 minutes at the show too. So we talked, and he had listened to our AIW Absolution review. So. I got some feedback on that. So
you said the one thing that stuck with me is that he did not like my take on Mikey's outfit.
Yeah. He said it was an all-time bad take.
Fucking guy. Listen, I thought it was. Do you mean something
to keep his same gear but do pastel instead of like wear shorts all the time? Do you want him to go pastel colors?
No. I mean, he could keep that kind of gear, like go complete 80s and early 90s. Like he looked like that's what I wore when I went to sleepaway camp in like 1989, like the white low tops or high tops with the neon, like an aqua pair of like swim trunks, like that was classic. Now he could go with that alternative, like when he's not an Enjoy champ, when he's wearing his supersonic stuff, he can wear like he could be like the 90s guy and like kind of do that. I think that would be great.
I don't think so.
That's exactly right up my alley.
I don't think that's going to work.
Not going to work for me, brother. Oh Lord. Yeah, that was that I'm surprised that's the thing that made Dom. Well, I'm not surprised. That's the one thing that made Dom angry.
A lot of stuff you say makes Dom angry, but yes. that was one of them that he said was a bridge too far. So what did you get up to this weekend?
Last week I was gone Wednesday, Thursday, with my brother and a whole crew of guys playing golf in Pennsylvania. And then this weekend, little bit of nothing, but my daughter comes home from camp finally, my niece and nephew. So that's my brother's kids come home this weekend, and Harper comes home this weekend, and then her birthday is on Sunday. She's going to be 10. So that's fucking nuts that I have a 10-year-old running around my house now. But yeah, I'm very excited to have her back. And I think Saturday night we are going to that NWA show. PB Smooth is going to be, he's been texting me because he is from Hempstead, Long Island, and he is going to be on the show at the Paramount where I did the filming of that Steven Spielberg movie.
Okay.
So that's where the NWA is going to be running their show on Saturday night. So I'm thinking if we could get out of Grandma's house early on Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening, I can drive over to the Paramount and we can go to the show. So I'm still trying to finagle that for the weekend. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But and some good news on the jobless front. I had some good progress today with an old manager. So I might be back on my feet before you know we can get the benefactors back in full swing again.
Nice.
Yeah. There's like that unemployment's like my kryptonite at this point. So yeah, that's it hasn't been overly exciting the last week, but I'm thinking now that she's back with all the stuff that we're doing, I think it'll be a lot better. So
JHawk, you got anything?
Not really. I leave for Vegas on Saturday morning. So
Vegas, baby. JHawk's gonna lose a tooth and come back like what's his name in The Hangover.
I mean, wife's a little pissed about dropping off at the airport like 3:30 in the fucking morning. My flight at like 5:50 or some shit. But
Oh, you're leaving early.
the only fucking nonstop flight I could get was leaving at like 5:50 in the morning. Otherwise, I gotta have a bunch of layovers and shit.
No, that's bad. I mean, it's fine. You definitely can. You definitely could do that. I think it's you know, I think it's something that you need to be there early because you lose if you lose a day
early anyway. It's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
You can rest, get some sleep on the plane, it'll be fine.
Yeah, that's the plan. Hopefully that one keep working out. But I know my daughter works until like 9 o'clock on Friday, and I got to pick her up from work. I'm gonna be at best running on like 4 hours of sleep before I get to the airport. So
Okay.
Shout outs.
Let's do it.
Zach, the bagel monger, and Patty.
hey Patty.
For those Patreon members, your card sets will be going out as soon as the new stickers come in. I just got some new stickers ordered, so they should be here in like a week or two, and then I will send out stickers.
God damn it! I thought you said card sets.
Autographed cards for Series 2 that they've been waiting on.
Wait on my autograph.
I had to get everybody's autographs before I could send them to the Patreon members.
Do I get to sign the card too for the Patreon members?
You have to.
Nice.
How often are they going to get autographed cards if you don't sign your fucking card?
Listen, I'm just excited that somebody wants my card.
I mean,
with my
bagel
autograph.
mongers I can send without it, and you can sign it for him there.
Right. Yeah. That'll be cool. That'll be in his card collection. He likes to do that now. He has so many cards. I can only imagine the disgust on his face when he puts my signed card into his book. So
I need to take mine with me this weekend, see if I can put them on the Joe Dombrowski gimmick table.
Hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. You should either hand them out or sell them, but anything signed you should sell.
And then we need to get him on too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That would be a good one, JHawk.
Yeah, I'm lining some stuff up, so.
Yeah, I'll talk to him.
I like that. I like the way that sounds.
Yeah, talk to Abdullah the Butcher too. Let's get him on here.
I can guarantee you right now, we cannot afford Abdullah the Butcher.
Wait, so you're going to Cauliflower Alley. So and you're not going to be here next week. So quick rundown. Who do you think you're going to be with, and who could you talk into coming on this program? That's the key.
I mean, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to tell, but I'm not 100% sure who's all going.
Mm-hmm. Is Fonzie going?
I don't know. He does go quite a bit actually, but I don't know if I haven't talked to him. I don't know if he's going this time around or not.
Ah, okay. So who do you think you can get for us?
I mean, I'm looking to try to get more into the stuff for the Patreon for the old school with JHawk to bring that back. So more than getting regular guests. But
I think you told me one of the people that you might be hanging around with because of who they're dating, and I'm really hoping that's one of your old school with JHawks because I think that would get a lot of people to probably sign up for the Patreon.
Yeah, I'll have to. Yeah, I'll ask him. I'll ask him questions. I'll ask around, see what I can come up with. No promise until we record shit, obviously. But
wait, did you say somebody you're dating?
No,
somebody that he's friends with is dating a wrestling personality that I think would be a huge draw to the Patreon.
Oh, I like that. Okay, interesting.
Again, no promises though. But
right, say it here and then I'll bleep it. Just get J Gold's reaction.
No, there's an outside chance of.
Get the fuck out of here! Really?
Outside chance. I know him. I don't know her. I don't know her. No.
Oh my God, that would be something else.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. See.
Oh shit, JHawk, I like that.
Nothing public until we actually get shit recorded. But We've been burned too many times being like, oh, we got this person, and then they don't fucking come on.
Well, that's mostly Butters' fault, but you know.
Oh, come on now. That's not true. That's absolutely all your fault. The one person that's done it twice to us now is your fault.
Wait. Who tonight? What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? You know who's done it twice?
Oh, I thought you meant tonight we had somebody that I
No, twice.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're right.
Twice you've had somebody bail on us.
Listen, but you had a few yourself. I had a few. No, I had a few. We're gonna go.
Yeah, well, that's part of the job.
And you had and yeah, it works.
Yeah, we've had.
It happened to all of us.
Yes.
Over promising and under delivering, like always. That's fine.
That's the name of the game with this show.
Right. This Iwguide, over promising and under delivering.
Yeah, that's why I ain't saying shit until I get stuff recorded.
Butters, can you put that under my t-shirt instead of the thing about my wiener? Can you do that? Maybe.
You have to ask Will. He's the one that came up with that design.
And now you brought it up, we've got to sell that one because people know what the fuck you're talking about.
You cannot. I mean,
it was something that was said on the show that sparked Will to design a t-shirt with JGold's outline on it.
Right.
Saying that he will with his and it does exist in the zeitgeist. It does exist. There's a logo out there. I need to put it in the group chat with Derek so Derek can see it.
Yeah. And you know what he'll say? He'll say yes. He'll say do it. Yeah. He's all about it. He's like, oh, you're going to humiliate him.
It'd be really funny if you got your wife to wear it. That's what would be really great.
Listen, it can happen. We'd have to put the little emoji face over her so nobody sees her face when she's wearing it. But yes, I'm sure I could get it done. I'm almost positive I could. Yeah.
I don't know if Brainbuster will let me put that up. I don't know. We'll have to see.
There's standards and practices here, Brainbusters. Come on. Oh, yeah, Lord.
They might be the ones that actually block it. I know main event, few of them were into it. Not everybody, but a few of them.
Great Brown Hope loves that shit. It'd make him so happy to see that, too.
I thought Kyle would be a fan, but Kyle didn't even say nothing. I couldn't believe it.
Kyle would like it. I think he would. I think I could bust his balls enough where he would like it. I think so. Oh, Lord. In case anybody wants to see that image, we'll come up with some way to get it out there for everybody.
What's on this weekend?
All right, over on the Triller TV kind of thing, this weekend is the gathering of the Juggalo and Game Changer Wrestling, along with Juggalo Championship Wrestling, are presenting the two-day war Thursday and Friday night. Thursday night, 11:45 p.m. Eastern, and technically Saturday morning at 12:15 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm just going to focus on that second show, that Friday night, Saturday morning show. That lineup. Exploding barbed wire deathmatch, Matt Tremont versus Madman Pondo.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
The Great Sasuke against Caleb Conley. Nick Nemeth against Atticus Kogar. Bean Bodag live round being thrown. Outbreak against the Rejects. The Surrender or Die Fighting Four-Way for Priscilla Kelly, Big Al, Hollywood Haley J, and Masha Klamovich.
What company is this again?
Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
Oh, right. Okay.
GTW World Champion Effie against the Chocolate Juggalo Willie Mack, and a 20-man Battle Royal 10-star from Juggalo Championship Wrestling, 10-star from GTW. That is Friday night, Saturday morning, 12:45 a.m. Eastern Time on Triller.
I'm assuming Mickey Knuckles and her fire spot is not invited to that show, but I'm just making sure.
No, Mickey Knuckles is on night one.
Oh, I thought they fired her after that spot. Go figure. I guess anybody gets a chance.
I will say to whoever's there filming that for Triller, be careful, because I heard last year somebody got water thrown on them that had acid in it.
Oh,
so they started tripping while they were filming stuff.
Hallucinogen acid, not the acid like the one the Joker was dipped in.
Right.
Not the good kind, the bad kind.
Was that last year or 2 years ago? Something like that. It was crazy.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah. Okay, stuff. So over on the Independent Wrestling Television Network, I want to say this because I like the way it sounds. Flophouse Wrestling presents No Fucks Given 3. And there's only 2 matches listed. It's Saturday night, August 16th at 7 p.m. It's the Mac of Graps Championship. Eric Dillinger versus Cody Manhorn. And it says Death Match, Brutus Dillon versus Satu Jin. And that's all on the Independent Wrestling Television Network on Saturday night.
Interviewing.
All right, this week I have the pleasure of introducing the Ohio Chief. He is the promoter of Mega. It is Brandon Xavier.
How's it going?
It's good. Glad that you're here. Happy we can make this happen.
I was surprised that we had this one on the calendar. I didn't see it, so I'm glad that you guys were able to make it work. So Brandon, I don't know. I live out in the East Coast, so most of my experience in the Midwest in the Cleveland area is AIW, hanging out with the guys there, talking to Neo Pro. But I have heard Mega my whole fandom, coming to Ohio. I've heard the name Mega, so I knew that. I guess Traxler, I know him, the former owner, or is still part of the company, or are you completely the owner now?
I'm the complete owner now.
Okay.
I have a new partner. Traxler has some health issues, so he had to step to the side.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, it was kind of I was the choice. My career has started with Mega, so it was I was the obvious, the heart and soul of Mega, I've heard, and so.
So you've been with Mega since what is it, 20 years? Because I was talking to JHawk earlier before this. Is it 20 years of Mega?
26. I think this is year 27. I think it was 98 they started. Yeah, so 98.
Have you been along for the whole ride?
Let's see. My son was born in 2002. I was about 4 years. It was about 4 years in when I started.
Okay. And so did you start off as a talent, or were you always kind of doing the promoter thing?
I was actually a student. I trained there. And then just kind of throughout life, I started to slowly have more responsibilities, became the booker, and then, the now owner.
So before we get into we start getting deeper in everything, as the owner now, do you like it? Is this something that you envisioned? What about this? How did you get to this point where you're like, you know what, I am just going to take the reins and promote? Was that always the goal, or were you just we'll see where this business takes me?
No, the goal is like everybody else, see how far I could get. And then just through life's trials and tribulations, it just kind of kept me here. And at one point, not at one point, but still, I started training people. And then it was then became the booker. And then it was more and more responsibilities. And then it just kind of transitioned into me becoming the owner.
And so, I mean, the Ohio market is and I say this to Butters and to JHawk all the time, being on the East Coast. Look, we get wrestling on the East Coast. We've had tons of wrestling, but indies it's an impossible endeavor in New York, just with the amount of fees, the amount of hassle, the over-regulation of wrestling. So all this wrestling in Ohio, the saturation of indies, what do you feel like is the reason why Mega has lasted as long as it has? What do you think behind that is okay, I'm keeping up this brand that's been going on for 20 some odd years. What's the reason for it?
Honestly, 100%, it's probably the culture that I've built in the last 15 years. Well, let's see, I think it's 2011 I stepped away for a year, and ever since then I've come back, and it just kind of it was the culture. That it's simple, that fact. For me, if you look around, I see a lot of promotions, and I don't have the problems that a lot of promoters have, where they're oh, I don't have nobody to help, or nobody to do this, or, and I have 30 to 40 people who will stand in front of me before I have to lift a finger. And it's not trying to, I don't know, that sounds egotistical in a way, but it's because of what I've built around them. And, the issues I see with wrestling promoters, we don't have but we're basically a homegrown talent too. So that's another thing is, everything I base on is building up the stars from within Mega instead of bringing everybody in.
And you've had a lot of guys learn and come through there. Can you name a few of the, can you give me a few of the top guys for that have made it through Mega? Cause I hear all the names, from JHawk, from Butters. I hear PME and a lot of those guys who are over in the Cleveland area have worked Mega. I've seen a lot of pictures of different Mega champions. Who do you think, or someone as you train, who makes you who are you most proud of, or who has made it, as far as what you you put your time in for and they're made it now?
Ooh, man, there's a whole compiled list. Let's see. Let's start with PME. Like that was the very first tag team that like ever created. And it was actually funny how they started because I was like, we were just talking at training one day, and I was like, you two, you're just going to be a tag team. Like they connected from the minute they started training. Then there's Shogun Jackson Stone. He was signed with TNA.
Sure.
One of the top female wrestlers in Ohio, Jocelyn Navarro, she started training under me. Let's see, Alex Daniels. He started with me before he went to Gargano and got trained even more. Christian Napier, who's part of Vandal 48.
Sure. That's Casey Carrington the third.
Yeah, Casey Carrington the third.
Yeah.
Like I got upcomers like Colt Johnson, and so I mean the list is like there's a long list like of people. Like we have a picture at the gym, and I've trained. I want to say I'm closing in on about 100 people over my time. Nobody's got signed to the Fed or anything, but it's kind of I'm okay with that because what I'm realizing what I'm doing is helping people live their dream that might not get to be able to do it somewhere else. So yeah, that's some of my long, like when I started training for people recently, it's like a Sebastian LeSean, Cash Inc. with Convasion. They were just like on OVW a few weeks or a couple months ago. So, it's the constant churning of new talent and trying to get people. Oh, Pastor CeeLo working with NWA right now. So yeah, that's just a list of. I can't, if I sat here and named all of them, I'm proud of them all overall.
So I think and you have a weekly. Do you have weekly videos that you're posting, or are you doing live when you're doing your shows?
Yeah, we have so COVID struck. We were down, but when we started opening up the school back up, it was kind of like, well, how do we showcase these students to get them booked elsewhere so they can be seen? Because it was coming back. Every guy who hadn't wrestled in 10 years all of a sudden had the itch again because they've been locked up for a year.
Sure.
And it all happened because one day I was like, hey, we're gonna film this and we're gonna post it online. But that night when we got to the gym, I was like, throughout all the years I've been here, I was like, anything we've ever videotaped has never made it online. And so I was like, screw it, guys. I was like, this is what we're going to do. I was like, I'm going to put your names in the caption. You're going to start in the ring. I was like, and we're just going to have matches. And it's all it was. My phone turned sideways. And we put on the shows. Well, now it's like a full-on production TV show. So
I did watch some of your stuff. You do it out of the school, right? So it's the black background with the Mega logo and stuff like that, like in the marquee. So that's So how do you feel like you got a good response as far as fan interaction? Do you feel like you're getting you got not even getting? Do you feel like you got the engagement you needed? So when you do run shows, you saw some more interest in the product.
I don't think the internet usually translate a lot to the live shows. I'm very right now we've just had a couple of videos that really exploded on our internet, but that's not going to draw any fans to our shows. And then when people do see it, what they do see, and it was one of my concerns was they see two people sitting on the side of a wall, or they see like six people right outside the door, and they're like, haha, look at that. They can't even draw any fans. But it was never for that purpose, right? Because when I was coming up in the indie scene, there were shows that I would work. There'd be 15 people there. And I'd be like, hey, you guys have to learn. You can't. I think the mega kids are spoiled. And I tell them that all the time. Like when I started and throughout my career, we was drawing maybe 50 to 100. Most of our shows draw around 300 to 400. So I wanted them to experience you're not always going to get that big crowd. So what are you going to do to get interaction? Now, we do have a faithful group that does watch the show every week. So, I mean, that's, it's for them too. But it also gives the new kids a place to, basically, what is that, break their bread at, or I don't know what the saying is. But it gives them a place to start at. So it's like they're not thrown in front of the big crowds. And it's like, well, you sink or swim,
I actually worked those first few turmoil shows, and you've come a long way from your phone turned sideways in the corner of the school to the big production, video packages, promo, commercial break. Like you didn't have commentators when I was doing it. It was just okay. Here's the match.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. It was. I think Jeff was sitting on at a table and was just had the microphone. It was like in the ring at this time, and we've actually. I've made it a simulation of a complete show just with a smaller crowd.
So,
and my arch nemesis of pro wrestling, the train.
So, what are your takes then, since you've been around so long, before I kind of hand off and kind of gather my thoughts on this, but what are your thoughts now on the state of, and we've had a few promoters on, we've had Matt Griffin, we had a bunch of different promoters. What is your thoughts on the state of indie wrestling right now, as far as pipeline and fan interest? Where do you think it is right now? Because there was a golden age. I'll say that often. Probably 2017 to 2019, there was a very large boom before AEW came in. What are your thoughts on where it is now? What do you think about the indie scene?
Honestly, I don't pay attention to it.
Okay.
I'm not, the other places, they don't make me I'm not in their pocketbooks. They're not in my pocketbook.
Mm-hmm.
There are some promotions that I do work with, but other than that, I don't pay attention to the scene overall. If there's somebody that needs, they feel hey, you should bring this guy, and it's usually somebody else that comes and tells me. I don't go looking for anybody. I literally have a roster of 45 people. So it's I can switch it in and out. And a lot of people are well, you seem to use the same guys. I'm yeah, those are the ones that are always around. But overall, I mean, when I look at shows, there's some shows that have the best talent and they don't draw. And then there's other shows that, you'll come across the pictures and stuff, but your average draw between now is between 150 and 250 fans. Mm-hmm. And if you can budget for that, that's great. But there's a lot of people that just want to, you'll see flyers with the big names, and then you'll see their pictures, their show pictures. They probably could have did some things different, but to me, the overall scene, I mean, if you look at the scene around here, there's AIW.
Mm-hmm.
They draw consistently between 400 to 600.
Mm-hmm.
Neo Pro is a fast rising promotion. Love working with those guys, even though, me and Danny and Jason, they got my title right now. But there's also Exodus, where it's, I look at.
But is Exodus an indie, considering they're backed by NWA? I mean, do we call them an indie?
To me, they're independent. If they don't, and it's no disrespect to them, but they're on the same, there's no major TV deals for anybody. So, everybody's got their streams and their YouTubes and all that stuff. But I would consider them one. Yeah.
Okay.
But also they could be, I don't know if they're a development of NWA, I think. But at the same time, it's still independent wrestling, even before they were with NWA. So
that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. JHawk, Butters, you want to step from there? I got gathering my thoughts on this one.
Yeah, well, most of my questions were going to be based on turmoil, and we covered that. I don't have a ton left right now, but I do want to know kind of your philosophy on training. I love talking to trainers, but they all train a different way, have a different way of handling things. But what's your philosophy on training, especially the brand new guys when they're coming in?
I kind of have unorthodox methods. Anybody that's trained with me knows, I don't. How do I put this? I have 2 or 3 things that really I beat into them. Well, not beat into them, but press into them is fundamentals and safety. The reason being, it is independent wrestling. They have to get up and go to work the next day. They have to take care of their kids. They have to go to school or whatever. So, their safety is number one to me, because I don't want anybody getting hurt on my watch, because then that's on me, And then the number, and this is high, very close to number 1 is fundamentals. I'll spend more months and more time on fundamentals than I will the moves or anything. And then number 3 is the psychology of wrestling to me. So it's safety, fundamentals, psychology. If you don't have those 3 things, then you might as well not even wrestle, because you're just doing it to do it.
And kind of leading into fundamentals a little bit. so many guys are calling everything in the back and not really leaving any room for, well, the crowd's not into this, so we need to change it up. Do you do anything to try to get them into that mindset of, okay, we need to change some things up, we need to call some things on the fly?
Oh yeah. We have, I don't know if you've ever seen it, we've done the wheel on Turmoil, where, Turmoil is a student show, and sometimes I get some of the local vet guys to come in and, they get to wrestle them. But when we do the wheel, they don't know who they're wrestling until that wheel spun. They have no idea who's going to be in the match, what's going to happen in the match. So it has to be on the fly. And in fact, last summer with Colt Johnson, we had a little feud going on, and I was like, there's nothing that we're going to talk about. I was like, I don't talk. I was like, we know what's going to happen. I was like, I'll see you out there. And I had to go and do the rest of the show. And when we got out there, I didn't even talk to him out there. It was just kind of, if I'm feeding it to you, that's what you work. So I really try to get them to understand that every crowd is different, that you can't call every single spot. You can't, I'm not a spot person. I hate spots. I think it's the worst when I see my kids in the back and it's like, hey, we got an hour before the show and they're calling the match. And I'm like, go do something else. Like you guys can talk, never. So it's just kind of go out there and do it, because if you can't feel it, then you'll never be able to do it anywhere.
Okay, now one thing you've been doing a lot more of lately is doing a lot more shows that are free for fans. I don't necessarily want to call them cold show, but that's not necessarily the case. But you've done the retro toy market. You got the show at Rookie coming up here.
Mm-hmm.
Explain the philosophy behind booking those kind of shows.
Okay, so the toy market is kind of, hey, he came to me and was like, hey, we are going to do this. We're going to bring in this guy. Would you guys come out? I'm like, okay. Like, you give me a ring, I'm putting on a show. I don't care. Like, I literally would give it to people for free on the internet. I don't think it's necessarily hurt my main draw shows, because our fan bases are different for them. My fans that come out to our LCC shows aren't going to the Rookie shows. They're not driving out to Niles. It's kind of like outside the city, we're not known. Sorry, mosquitoes. And it's really weird because like a lot of people are like, oh, I've heard of Mega, but if you come in somebody, it's just the natural. Half the people in my city have never even heard of us until like we're posting and all that stuff. So I don't know. I just like wrestling for my students. I don't really care about the whole, I don't want to say money, because we do okay financially, but it's like, it's a show. Like I would rather give somebody some entertainment and some affordable entertainment, because like Rookies, we're going out there, we're getting paid to be there. So what they chose to do was have the free show. Okay, cool. But our value to them isn't going to be based on how many people come. It's how much people spend while they're there. And a lot of times, if you think about it, if you go to like a toy show, or you go to a Colossal Con, or Niles, what's going to keep you there? You have 10 vendors, 10, 12 vendors there at the Niles show. So what keeps you there? What's going to keep you going back to the food truck to buy some lemonade? What's going to get you to go over and grab a piece of pizza? It's not going to be the guys that are selling stuff. It's going to be the entertainment that they have that they're sitting there watching. So I think we're just a reason for people to stay, and that's the way I try to look at it, is the value that we're giving you. Like when we do the baseball shows, we did one for the Rubber Ducks this year. We did one for the Captains. And I want to say the Rubber Ducks actually got rained out, but we were still able to put on the show. But while they were still waiting, people were still able to go buy some drinks, go buy some food. So it's more of the value that we bring. So that's where I look at it in that aspect.
Now, have you seen any instances of people maybe seeing you in Nile or seeing you at the Rubber Duck and making that trip to Illyria?
Oh yeah. We've had a bunch of people that have come out to the shows afterwards. They're like, hey, we saw you at this place, or we saw you at that place. And especially during the summertime, it's hot. So like, I made the mistake in July by having an indoor show. That was horrible. But for the outdoor shows, it's like, it gives people value, something to do. It's a way to get our name out there. We used to call it it's basically our marketing plan for the summer, is just to go out there and spread out who we are, sell merchandise, get people to follow us on social media, because, social media, even though you're not getting paying fans, if you have the right videos and, the right content, you can make an okay amount of money off of that.
Now, you and I have been in the business about the same amount of time. Do you have any goals left? And if so, what are they?
Ooh, goals. To maybe see one of my students get signed. Other than that, I don't really have any goals. I've been contemplating recently, man, how much longer am I actually going to do this for? And I've actually been working with my partner, Tommy. I'm like, hey, at some point, I'm like, you're going to take this over for me. I was like, I'll stay on as the booker. I'm like, but there's not too many more years I have left as being the full-time promoter. It's there's other things I want to do in life and other areas I want to just find in life. I've given my whole life, basically, my whole adulthood to wrestling. And, every time I think I'm out, I'm like, well, there's something that drags me back in. But it's actually, what do I have left to accomplish?
I mean, you thought you were done wrestling, and then Cole Johnson pissed you off. No.
Yeah. I like to pop out every once in a while. They were trying to get me to pop out last week, and I'm like, nah, I'm okay. I'm not. The itch isn't there.
Let me ask you something that comes to mind. You mentioned, the training and everything. Do you see your training or the way, because you want to see your students hit it, do you think the way your training has evolved as far as what spots, let's say we're focusing more, what, like 20 years after you've started, is the industry the same? Do people want to say the same thing? When you're training guys, do you tell them, hey, now it's less this? Because how many on television, how many chain spots do you see? How many rest holds do you see? Do you change the way you train based on what you're seeing on television as far as what people are reacting to?
No.
Still the same fundamentals, right?
Say the fundamentals are fundamentals. And overall, it's not like I tell them all the time and they'll all repeat it. When they do the seminars, they're like, when they come back from a seminar, I'm like, so what'd you hear? And they're like, you know what you said to us? I'm like, yeah. They're like, well, so-and-so said it, so now it makes sense. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But for me, it's about the moments. It's not about the moves.
Right.
And that's what I try to tell them. I'm like, make moments. I was like, because nobody's going to remember that you did a splash off the top rope or you did a 450 or anything, but they're going to remember how you reacted to them or just the slightest, basically the reactions that they have and connecting with the fans. Is, no matter what, it's the same. Connect with the fans because they're the ones paying the money to see the show.
I get that. I just wondered. I wondered because back in if we say back in the 80s, right? A DDT was a finisher. Now it's a transition move. Now nobody's. So do you ever have to say to yourself, well, the stuff we used to teach these guys, hey, because if I was training and telling somebody, listen, the DDT is a finisher, and then someone says back to me, no, it isn't. Nobody uses it as a finisher anymore. Or, the destroyer's a finisher. No, it isn't. They do 3 of them. There's a destroyer spot. So would that change the way that I say, oh, crap, well, if we want to get you from point A to point B, we don't need to do this anymore. We want to do this and this. Do you ever say, hey, when you're putting a match together, this might have worked back then, but now we have to do it this way?
Nope. To me, it's you're going to do different moves, but at the same time, it's the concept is the same.
Right. Okay.
Will those moves that you do connect with the crowd, or are they just moves in the match?
So that makes sense. So I'm thinking of it a little bit differently, and you make a lot more sense. Hey, if they don't mean anything, who cares which one you do? You could do 80 of them; it doesn't matter. Right.
You can do, how they say, oh, the super kicks overused, or remember the Canadian Destroyer when everybody was doing them repeatedly. And plus the demographic that I go for isn't about there's other promotions if you want that kind of wrestling.
Okay. Fair enough.
Mega is 80s, 90s character, gimmick, storyline, because we have a weekly show. So storylines are easier to tell.
Right.
The characters, people aren't going to buy merchandise of the guy who can do just a couple of moves, cool, fancy moves. They're going to buy the merchandise of the person that they connect to in the shows. Mm-hmm. A Sebastian LeShawn is one of our highest merch sellers. Sebastian connects with the crowd. Brazzi Suave he's our Energizer Bunny, but he has, if you name it, he has merch for it because he connects with the crowd. His whole point in wrestling is to connect with people. every show we do, he's like, oh man, I took like 20 pictures with these kids and I took 50 pictures with these people. And that is the moments that are going to bring people back. Nobody's coming back because they saw a 450 3 times in one match or, 800 Canadian destroyers. So
makes sense.
Okay, now you've tried a couple of times to get the world's biggest battle royal going. 2018, you almost had it, didn't quite get enough people in it, and of course everything fell apart with the building double booking and stuff with Converge. That's still on the book. You don't want to try to pull that off.
You know what? That might be the final goal, the final show for me.
How many do you need?
I don't know, because I keep on hearing different numbers. Like everybody's argued with me because I'm like it's 160, and they're like, well, no, it's 161. I'm like, fine, I'll do 162. So it's indies, it's the ego, so it's whoever thinks they've done the biggest one.
160, you're gonna get 160 people. I'm in. I'll give you my. You can DM me.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. The idea for the one in July was 4 rings, 160 guys, and I had already made plans to go to the show. And it's like, well, we're not doing the Battle Royal because we don't have time with the building. And that honestly, that kept me from going to the show.
The intros alone would take up. The intros alone would take up a 1 hour block before everybody gets out there.
That's when everybody comes out to one song, and you say, "Fuck it," you don't do.
Well, that was going to be part of the plan. Was it was going to be one continuous line of like basically an hour of entrances. Yes, but the concept for that show was actually going to be like a independent wrestling convention, where it wasn't like your big name superstars. It was the independent wrestlers who got the merch tables and the signings and all that. I'm kind of glad it didn't happen because, oh my gosh, if there was ever a show that I felt like it was a living hell, that was the show because it was like 1,000 degrees in the building. The air was so thick and dry. I was so happy when it was over. And afterwards, I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, there's no way I'd have been able to survive with 160 people because I know at least half of them wouldn't award deodorant.
That show could have gotten away from you real quick if you had 160 guys you had to get, worked into that.
Yeah. So. I'm glad it didn't happen, but at the same time, I'm disappointed that it didn't happen. But it's one of them things that was probably for the best that it didn't. Do it during the wintertime maybe, or a springtime where it's not
outdoors. We got to get you outdoors to do it.
Yeah, outdoors somewhere where it's not 1,000 degrees.
Sure. Butters, you good over there?
I'm ready to go.
Go on, brother.
Okay. Let's start off with what's the worst ring name you've ever heard?
Oh, Kamala Jr.
I've worked with Kamala Jr.
Kamala Jr.?
If there's anybody in this business that I say F that guy, it's Kamala Jr.
Is he related to Kamala at all?
Not even. Listen.
I love it.
Here's a story, like a quick story. There was a promotion called Mule, and they brought him in. We go into the locker room, and this guy's like 5'2", 5'3", 200 and flubby pounds of I don't know what. He walks up to me. He goes, "Hey, man, I don't bump. I don't sell." And I was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Yeah, Kamala told me not to do either one of them." And I was like, "Oh." And I looked over at my trainer, and I was like, "Hey, man," I was like, "this dude told me not to, that he's not going to sell or he's not going to bump." He's like, "Make him." I was like, "Okay." So, yeah.
How'd you get him to bump?
I beat the shit out of him. Like, that's so. Like I even told him before, I was like, "You don't sell for me." I was like, "This is going to get ugly real fast." Halfway through the match, he started selling because he didn't have a choice.
Oh my God.
And it wasn't to be a dick. It was just like, excuse my language, but it was.
You can curse all you want. Don't even worry about it. Yeah.
But yeah, his whole ego and attitude, like he was some major star, like pissed me off. And I was like, all right, I'm going to have to beat on him. So I did.
I would do anything just to be in a building like that, to see a guy who's like, I don't bump or sell, and then whoever's wrestling just beats the trash out of him.
It's pretty much what happened.
Oh, I would love that. That is so crazy to me. How can you be in a business that's about bumping and selling if you won't bump and sell?
Because he thought he had some fame or something to him, and I'm just like, yeah, no.
What the fuck? Oh, the arrogance, the just ridiculousness.
He did kind of look like Kamala if you were drunk and had the beer goggle thing going, but
I mean, like if
my goodness,
I mean, yeah, no, Well, actually, the worst person I've ever had to wrestle though was Giant Cucamonga.
Of course,
Okay,
that was
I don't
his
know if I
name.
know that.
Of course, that's his name.
This was like probably my second or third year in. He was like 7'1". And I should have known better when he came out with a blanket over his tennis shoes or something. I don't even think he had tennis shoes on. But he had like a jungle blanket like cut around his feet. He had a Papa Shango action figure around his neck for his jewelry. And all my wisdom, I was like, hey man, I was like, I'm gonna do a lion salt. I want you to catch me. It didn't happen. He didn't catch me. He caught me, but I landed straight on my neck from it. So yeah, that's probably the worst person I've ever had to wrestle.
Oh my God. Go ahead, Butter. Sorry.
So I usually ask what your pre-show ritual is. Yours is probably a lot different than like active wrestlers. So what do you do? Do you have anything specific that you do on the day of a show? Like do you stop get coffee? Anything specific like before you go to a show to run things?
No, I mean like we have a routine. Like I get up at like 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, go grab the ring truck at 9, meet everybody at the gym. But even as a wrestler or anything, I've never really had that like set routine that I had to do to make sure, it was just kind of, I go, and yeah, let nature take its course. And at shows, oh, wait a minute. At shows, I have a ritual. I'll take that back because at any show, you'll see the way they find me once the show starts is they just wait for me to come around because I walk a circle the whole show. And I just stop every so often because I'm checking on the concessions. I'm checking on the door. I'm checking on the wrestlers. So they're always like, whenever we need to find you, we just go the opposite direction of where we last seen you and we know we'll run into you. I'm like, yeah, sounds about right. So that's about my ritual.
What's the weirdest place that you've wrestled?
Ooh, in a prison.
In a prison?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was in Grafton, Ohio. We were doing a prison show, and my gimmick at the time was basically like I was the Section 8 soldier. So like I came out, had a telephone book wrapped around my waist. Got in a little bit of trouble for the show because I was kind of doing some prison-y type things, and they didn't like appreciate it. But yeah, that was really awkward to wrestle in front of like in a prison.
What about the coolest place? Would it still be the prison, or is there a place that you think was cooler to work?
The coolest place I've ever wrestled, the Canton Civic Center.
Okay.
That was back when Shasta was around, like a guy named Shasta and Canton was around, and they had like it was the Dudley Boys versus him, and I want to say Brain Damage versus my trainer and Shane Sensation at the time. And it was like one of the greatest ladder matches I've ever watched in my life. But it was just so cool to be in front of 1,500 people at that time, especially as young as I was in my career.
What year was that?
Oh, man. I want to say 2005, 2006. Yeah, I think it was around that time.
Definitely cool.
Are you a Waffle House or a Sheets guy?
Oh, F Waffle House. I can't stand Waffle House. I'm not even a Sheets guy. I'm a Speedway guy.
Speedway? Okay.
Yeah. Like I like my dusty ass greasy tornadoes and 4 monsters and 3 tornadoes and I'm good to go on the road in my bag of Doritos.
What's your craziest fan interaction?
Okay. So we were in Michigan and one of the wrestlers had said something to a fan and they're like, oh, well, we'll meet you out back. And I'm hearing all this, and I'm like, oh, well, I'm about to go grab all the boys if this is the way it's going to go down. And there's like 8 people that all went outside, went to the back. Well, I ended up going out the door. The door closed behind me, and it was like me standing there with 8 people. And I was like, well, where'd everybody else? I'm looking around like, oh, shit. And I was like, we can do this or we can't. Nothing ended up happening. Like, they just stood like about 20 feet away, oh, come here. And I'm like, I'm right here. How much further do you want me? Do you want me to beat myself up for you? So I get, and there's the old lady that she once ripped my shirt, and yeah, I almost went to jail that night. But Luckily, some people had grabbed me because, yeah, she like spit on me and like ripped my shirt. She just hated me so much. Yeah. I used to like to push the buttons. I'd always walk the line to see how far I could push it.
Who is the funniest wrestler that you've worked with?
Funniest. I don't know. See, because I don't think anybody's funnier than me. Like,
so you're saying you're the funniest wrestler?
I would have to be, no, Puff.
Puff? Okay.
Yeah, I met Puff at Converge, and he is like, it was just the way he is. He's like, when we were talking, he was like cracking me up, and then we did a promo, and they're like, Puff, is there anything you want to say to the fans? And he's like, nope. And that was the whole promo, but it was the funniest thing, like one of the funniest promos I've ever seen. Every time I watch it, I start laughing, and I can't help it.
Okay, as long as you've been around in the business, do you have any story about any good rib?
Oh, okay. So there's a guy named the Nomad who used to have a tape ball, and if you've ever seen like somebody, like it was all his wrist tape and all that stuff. We hid that on him one time, and like he legit broke down crying. There was a time that I duct taped somebody's gear bag to a ceiling. Back in the day, it used to be a GameCube, a can of Axe, and a big black dildo you would stick into somebody's bag. Yeah, I'm trying to think that I've never destroyed anybody's stuff or anything like that. Like I always tried to do shit that just be like ridiculous funny. So that was about it. Hiding people. Oh, I just like to make Nomad cry because it was just so funny to do. Because every show he'd cry about something. But his wrist tape ball was like the biggest prized possession of his life. But we think that he had somebody buried underneath a trailer that smelled like cat pee. But that's a whole different story.
Who's the strongest wrestler that you've ever wrestled?
Jackson Stone. Like that dude's a complete beast. And like with the show, yeah, he would hug you and break your ribs, and he was being nice about it. But he'd be like one of the only people I know that like just always pick me up and just toss me around. And I'll be like, Josh, like, listen, I'm your trainer. You can't be doing that to me all the time. So
he's got a really good look. I remember first seeing him on the Indies, and I was like, holy cow, look at this dude. Like he just looks every inch of his toughness.
Yeah, he's legit tough. But if you talk to him, nicest guy in the world. And that's one thing I've learned with wrestlers. Like the nicest ones are the most toughest ones in the world. Like, because they don't. And I've learned the loudest ones who act tough are not the toughest at all.
Of course, makes sense.
But yeah, with him, I'm like, Josh, you could probably kill a man with the snap of your fingers. He's like, yeah, like, all right, just as long as you know that.
Who would you consider the stiffest wrestler that you worked?
My trainer, Chris Cole, but that was, that's my trainer, so I expected him to be stiff with me. Like, but like it was one of those I enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed getting hit when I was getting wrestling. Ricky Shane Page could stiff you if he wanted to, but he's not the type to do that. So, yeah, I'd have to say Chris Cole.
How about the most technical?
Ooh, most technical. Glenn Spector. He's from PA. But this was like, I know he goes by something else now, but yeah, he was probably one of the most technical wrestlers I've ever wrestled.
And what's the worst finisher to take, in your opinion?
Paxton Calloway used to, and this was my fault for telling him to do it. He would give you a Kona Crush power bomb, where he would grab you by your head and lift you up and power bomb you. Oof. And the dude's 7'1", so it was always like, And I was like, hey, Pat, we're at a show. I'm like, Pax, I'm like, tonight, I want you to grab me by my head. Like, you're going to crush it. Lift me up in the air and power bomb me. I had a headache for like 3 days afterwards. So that was probably the worst one I've ever taken.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, no matter how well you're trained, no matter how well you know how to bump, when you get that high, it's just kind of hard to control it going down.
Yeah. Yeah. It was more of the head being crushed than anything, because he didn't even... Biggest guy didn't know his own strength. He was always like, one of the things he was always worried about was hurting people. And I'm like, yeah, don't worry about hurting me. And afterwards, I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, you hurt me.
That's everything I got.
What are we promoting? We have a mega show coming up. You wanna promote it, Brandon? Give us what the details are.
Let's see. This Saturday we're at Rookie's Bar and Grill in Parma Heights, Ohio. from 5 o'clock. We're doing a show. We're having a Cody Gray versus Big Nasty, Vinny Maverick. We're doing a chicken wing on a pole match.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, you're at a bar and grill. They have wings, and those guys, Vinny's got his own show about food, and Cody's moniker is Big Hungry. So why would you not do a lot of people are like, why'd you do that? I'm like, why would you not?
I get that. Yeah.
But yeah, we have that this Saturday.
Will the chicken wing be dipped in anything like an atomic sauce or some type of hot sauce so that it's really got a use for when they get it down off the pole?
You should put blue cheese on each ring post.
And they got to dip it. 4 quarters dipping.
There you go. You have to put cups of blue cheese on each post. That's what I'm talking
about. There we go. 4 quarters.
Not that ranch bullshit. Yeah, blue cheese only, no ranch.
I can't stand ranch. It's so nasty.
Thank God. Gross.
At the same time,
I'm a honey mustard guy. What's
you
that?
dip wings in honey mustard? No, blue cheese only for wings.
In honey mustard.
Oh shit.
Yeah. At the same time, if Big Nasty he wants ranch, you're gonna get fucking ranch. I ain't fucking with him.
Yeah, I mean, those guys, him and Cody, like, hey, I want this sauce. I'm like, hey, go talk to somebody else. Don't yell at me about it. I'm not gonna stand in the way of them two.
Is it a wing or a drumette that you put up on the on the pole? Like, do you have
I
to
think
have?
it's actually going to be like a bucket of wings.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
From my understanding, we got a bucket of wings. So
some real steaks. Now we're talking.
Yeah, I mean that's
I'm trying to enter that match and get a bucket of wings, man. Shit.
Right. Now I'm thinking I should have did a battle royal for the wings, like
now we're talking.
Rumble.
Yeah, there we go.
An entire show based around your consumption of hot wings would be amazing. Yeah.
But I'm known for doing weird stuff like that, so it's kind of just everyday thing to us.
Wrestling has to be fun that way. Yeah, if there's not a little bit of fun and cheesiness to it, then what are you doing it for? Can't always be serious.
And that's my thing is I honestly, with everything that's happened, with my life, I take pro wrestling in the ring seriously, but I can't take pro wrestling seriously.
Makes
We're
sense.
legit sweaty men in our underwear rolling around. There's nothing less serious than that. It's, and some people take that the wrong way when I'm like, oh, I can't take it serious. It's because there's other things in life that I'd be upset about. But guys wrestling in the ring over chicken wings, you really can't take if you take it way too serious, especially now when wrestling's 90% theater kids, I guess. And it's admitted,
Yeah.
That is the biggest change in wrestling when I started.
Sure.
When I started, it was, are you tough enough to be able to make it through a tryout? Are you tough enough to make it through training? And now it's kind of all right, so what sports did you play? Oh, well, I was in theater. Okay.
Makes sense.
Well,
a little more performative, and athletic is almost like a dance as opposed to the old days where it was more like football and car crashes.
Right. And if you watch, you see a big difference in
Sure.
Somebody was telling me when my partner Tommy was oh, Buzz Sawyer had the best power slam in pro wrestling, and I'm watching and I'm like, oh, I don't know. That kind of looks like ass, but if you say that to an old school person, they lose their mind.
Sure.
And yeah, so
listen, Hacksaw Jim Duggan's finisher was a spear, was like a pound spear mix at one point, and it looked like shit, and people still loved it. So
yeah, some of the finishers from the 80s and 90s. Well, I do try to incorporate some of my students to have the 80s, 90s finishers. One of my guys, his finisher is a jumping back elbow.
If you make it look impactful, it works.
And he's big enough to make it look his arms are so huge, they're about as big as my whole torso. So I'm all right, yeah, it's legit. You look legit when you do it. I think we actually posted a clip on the Mega page today with Big Mo and Wrath. The guy's name's Wrath. And he does a big back elbow where he leaps with it. And it's, yeah. I'm you hit somebody in the head with that might knock them out. So try, to aim at their chest.
Oh, shout out to you, by the way, for getting our Facebook numbers up like crazy when we had that little thing going on for a while. Our numbers jumped up, and they've been the highest they've ever been. So we're getting a decent reach out there on Facebook now.
Nice.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's the whole name of the game. just promote everybody, promote everything. Like I have like no animosity or no like ill will towards any promotion or anything out there. Like I try to help out everybody, big or small. I'm made different, so I'm glad I can help you guys get that.
Oh yeah.
Real quick, I do want to let you go ahead and keep plugging show, but I have to hear the story from you. You had a kid that traveled something like 3 or 4 hours to do a tryout not too long ago.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I don't even know what happened to that kid. He I guess came from like near Dayton. He Ubered all the way up here for the tryout.
Wow.
And afterwards I felt bad because I'm like, oh man, I would have made it harder on him than if I'd have known that. Like but but no, like I tried to get him in contact with some schools like down towards that area because like if you're willing to go 3 or 4 miles, I can take an extra few minutes to find you someplace closer because for me to expect somebody to come up here and train like that would just be insane.
I can't imagine how much that Uber freaking cost him either. Like,
I think it was like $170 or something like that.
That's not even that bad. It's $170 to get from Long Island to New York City or to Hoboken, New Jersey, and that's 19 miles.
Okay, but you gotta figure, JGold, this guy's going to try to do this every single week for a year or two before he can really work a match. How far in the hole before we even get the payday?
Yeah, maybe he just wanted to get there and move, You never know. There's all these plans, JHawk.
I think that was the same night I had somebody drive from Indiana to try out. And they were just like, you were the closest school. And I'm like, no, I'm really not, my guy. I'm like, you passed a couple coming here. And, so I don't know whatever happened to them either.
So what else you got besides Saturday? What's the next group of shows you got for us so we can get the plugs properly?
We got the Niles Toy Market, where Snitsky's going to be there. And
still doing it. Unbelievable.
I think it's Muhammad Hassan is also going to be
the other
there.
one, yeah.
I think that sounds right, yeah.
And we're hoping to see what happens. Usually they hop in the ring for a minute and do something interactive.
He still goes by Muhammad Hassan, or does he go by his name now?
I don't even think he's done anything with wrestling aside from the occasional signing.
No, I saw a documentary about him. I think it was an A&E documentary or something on him, or was it Dark Side of the Ring? But I thought he went by Mark again. So who knows?
Yeah, once again, I don't pay attention. I'm just
of course.
I heard Snitsky and I'm like, think he'll kick a baby for us? Like,
I think he brings his own. That guy should bring his own wherever he goes. He could just stop at like a dollar store and get one of those baby dolls and bring it with him.
Right, like I would just market that. Like every show, I just go out, kick a baby, sign it, sell it.
That's right.
But like every show we've done out there, we've always tried to get that moment. Like we had Gilbert, I think it was last year.
Yeah, last year you had Gilbert. He speared somebody. He was the referee. The last one in June, you had Tony Atlas refereeing the girls' match.
Yeah, so that wasn't by design at all.
Getting a little too happy about getting a foot in the face at one point.
Oh yeah. Well, what made me mad is we had switched, like when we were filming, they switched the camera view, but you see him and he's like, I like that when like Alexa Sin was choking with her foot. Dude, and then that's also the same one that Greg the Hammer Valentine chopped one of the guys, and the video itself's got like 1 million views on our page. So, the cool thing with that is like the reason why I like doing that is because then you see people who engage on the page, and then they tell their stories about, I remember being a kid and I got to see Greg the Hammer and Brutus the Barber Beefcake. So that's kind of cool too to read on like some of their stories that people post up. But yeah, after that, that's on August 30th. Bell time for that's like noon to 3. And then after that, we're back home on September 13th at Lorain County Community College for serving humble pie, which we do have Josh Bishop on the flyer, the poster, but he won't be there. And I've made that very clear. And that's kind of Danny and Jason humbling me of, we have your champion. And that's, the hidden Easter egg with that. So yeah, and then we have November 15th and December 13th scheduled.
That's a good full calendar. All right. You have socials you want to plug?
Mega Championship, Mega Wrestling on Instagram, I think. I don't know. I never look at our Instagram. Mega Championship Wrestling on Facebook. Mega Wrestling on TikTok, which I don't think we do a lot of. Definitely Mega Championship Wrestling on YouTube. YouTube and Facebook are our big ones. So yeah, like this week alone, we got like 2 million views on our Facebook, which is really cool for being a smaller independent, and so like we had a video that's kind of causing some controversy because Big Mo's a big guy and everybody thinks he killed a man. I'm like, no, it's fine. Like, oh, look at your shows, there's nobody there. And I'm like, yeah, you mean the two guys that are in workout gear posting a training video? Surprise, So yeah, it's
an interesting industry. People
it
who
really
do that.
is.
Very tribal.
Any tryout coming up at the school anytime? Yeah.
We usually do them every Tuesdays. I was looking at our emails. I'm gonna have to do a scheduled one here again because there's 13 emails about how can I get in. When's your next tryout? So we'll probably have a tryout in what is this, August? Probably the end of August, middle of September somewhere.
Cool.
So
all right. Well, we appreciate you being on. We're gonna run into our plugs. So JHawk, you want to give your plug and your goodbyes before you go on vacation for a week?
Oh, I'm gonna have to plug the vacation stuff as well. You can follow me on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Blue Sky at RefJHawk, Instagram at JHawk1539. I will be in Las Vegas, Nevada for the Cauliflower Alley Club. Everything starts on Sunday with the On the Fly show. Legends in attendance will randomly select the matches, and the wrestlers must call it on the fly. Bell time for that is at 7 o'clock. That's in the Sierra Ballroom in the Plaza Hotel in Las Vegas. And of course, the Cauliflower Alley Club itself is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the 18th through the 20th. The poolside meet and greet on Monday at 6 o'clock. The Mick Foley roast at 8 o'clock on Monday in the Sierra Ballroom. And then, of course, the awards on Tuesday and Wednesday. Among those getting an award this year, Natalia Neidhart, Herb Simmons getting the Promoter Award, Jag getting an award, Bob Orton Jr., Abdul the Butcher, Ohio's own Wayne Palmer getting the Red Bastille Friendship Award, much more there. So.
Yeah, Wayne. Very well deserved for Wayne.
And if you can't find JHawk at those shows, he'll be at the Spearmint Rhino, and but he likes to go there only for their dinners. I heard that they have very good dinner.
Yeah, you'll be able to, if you go to anything related to the Cauliflower Alley Club, you'll be able to find me.
He'll be wearing some Hawaiian shirt. That's all he ever wears is Hawaiian
look like
shirts.
Johnny Depp in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. So look for that guy.
I will most likely either be wearing a Hawaiian shirt or a Cleveland Guardians jersey, or the Iwguide referee shirt that I had made that I never actually used. I'll wear that one. I'll wear that around one day too.
You should promote the show a bit.
I don't have anything coming up until August 28th. The Mick Foley signing at Monsters in the Toy Box from 6 to 9 p.m. That's the only thing I got coming up soon. So.
No, you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at JGold12. And this Saturday night, I will be at that NWA show at the Paramount in Huntington, Long Island. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to us, and our Twitter handle, IWGuide1, patreon.com/IWGuide. Don't forget about our merch store over at brainbustertees.com. Our friend Will over at Gorilla Press Apparel, who's making really weird T-shirts about me. Listen to our podcast friends. We are part of the Main Event Wrestling Network, Wrestling Junkies, On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, Tino's Time, Great Brown Hope, and the NXT Night Shift. That is my show tomorrow night, live at 10:15. Check it out on YouTube. You can also check out At Odds with Wrestling. The Card is Going to Change, the Super Fantastic Podcast, and Marks with Mikes. Check out our other friends, Monsters in the Toy Box, Toy Hio, Rubber City Toys, Neo Pro Wrestling, OKCR Creations, Stash Pages, and Pally's Beef Jerky from our very own Kaplan. That's what I got this week.
Life short, watch more indie wrestling.
See ya.
Don't forget to review and subscribe wherever you listen to us. Find us online at Facebook and Instagram at The Indie Wrestling Guide. And on X or Twitter at IWGuide1.